Improvement Bill here. I've noticed that every year, more and more of my childhood friends start to talk about getting out of the rat race. It seems like they finally started to realize that they're going to be doing the same thing day in and day out for decades just to retire. They crave the freedom to enjoy their life without having to trade in their precious hours just to get by. So today I want to share with you one of the only feasible methods that I know of for escaping. Now, of course, a little disclaimer. I'm just some guy on the internet. I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply a compilation of observations that I've made studying people who are actually able to break free from the rat race. Please do not do anything with your money before conducting your own research and speaking with your own financial advisor. And with that being said, let's begin. Step number 1, understand that the system is broken. Now, the first thing you have to understand is that it is virtually impossible for you to simply work hard, reduce your costs, and save your way out of the rat race. And this is all because we are currently living in a monetary system where the cost of living a decent life is rising far faster than wages are. The cost of rent, food, and basic day-to-day goods are all rising in price far faster than the raises you're going to get at work. There are a wide variety of reasons why this happens, the largest one being the fact that the government is inflating the money supply. They're basically adding more dollars into the system, which ultimately reduces the purchasing power of each individual dollar you own, which means that the amount of stuff that your money can buy decreases over time. Now, it's still important that you cut costs and save your money because of step number 2, increase your income stream. Money pays the bills and puts food on the table, but it's also a tool. The more money you have, the more money you can potentially make, which is why you still need to be spending frugally and figuring out ways to accumulate more money as you plan your escape. If this means that you need to stay at your current job even though you don't really like it, that's fine, because right now in this current economy, more important than ever, you need that stream of income to keep coming in. And the larger this stream is, the better, as it will give you more chances to actually make it out of the rat race. Now, if you're one of my viewers that's in a country where the monthly salary can be kind of low, where it's hard to actually save any money, then you need to take advantage of the internet and find some sort of remote work. When I was living in Vietnam, I met people with college degrees working typical office jobs only making $400 to $500 per month. This same position would have paid at least $4,000 to $5,000 in the US, literally a 10x. If you're in this sort of position, you need to think internationally. You need to work on your English or one of the other major languages and take advantage of the internet to make a higher wage. Which is why this episode was brought to you with the help of the people over at Audible. One of the best ways to work on your English is by listening to books, and Audible is the perfect place for this. Audible allows you to consume content on the go wherever you are. Just the other week, I took an 8-hour flight and I was able to listen to a book the entire time. Audible is now giving members even more with the all-new Plus catalog. All members will have access to thousands of select audiobooks, podcasts, Audible originals, guided fitness and meditation programs, and much, much more. Just go to www.audible.com/improvement pill or text improvement pill to 500-500 to get one free audiobook, a 30-day free trial, and explore the Plus catalog today. On the plane, I listened to In Plain Sight by Ross Coulthart, which is an extremely contrarian new book putting forth a very well done argument for the existence of UFOs. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but it's one heck of an interesting listen. Now back to the topic at hand. Learning a language for remote work isn't the only way to increase your income stream. If you have the entrepreneurial spirit within you, you can also try your hand at starting a business. Now, I know a lot of people might say, but that's too risky. But the truth of the matter is that nowadays it doesn't have to be. There are dozens of ways you can start an online business nowadays with a very minimal budget and sometimes even free. You gotta do your own research though, because there's a lot of information out there about how to do this. If you can further increase your income stream and save more money, you will ultimately be able to, step number 3, take asymmetrical bets. With some emphasis on the word some of your saved up money, you should take on asymmetrical bets if you ever hope to get out of the rat race quickly. An asymmetrical bet is a bet that has limited downside with almost unlimited upside, which basically means that it's a bet that has a decent chance of paying off extraordinarily high returns. The key part here is a decent chance of paying off. You see, people who play the lottery are not taking asymmetrical bets because although they have the chance to win millions, their chances of winning is less than 1 in 10 million. An example of a real asymmetrical bet is something like Ethereum right after the March 2020 crash. You see, Ethereum had an established network, it was seeing an increase in adoption at exponentially higher rates, and it was also significantly down from its all-time high. I figured that considering all of these things, that there was at least a 25 to 50% chance of it recovering and going through another bull market, which it ultimately did, giving me a roughly 15x return. Yes, the potential gains of investing in Ethereum were much lower than winning the lottery, only a 15x compared to a 1 millionx, but the chances of this bet paying off was literally hundreds of thousands of times higher. 500,000 times higher to be exact if we assume that Ethereum had a 50% chance of paying off. Now I know a lot of you are thinking, betting on something like crypto is far too risky. First of all, you should do at least 10 hours of research for both sides of the argument before claiming that something is risky or not risky. And second of all, if you look into the history of almost every well-known investor, Warren Buffett included, most of them made their initial fortunes taking on an asymmetrical bet with a large percentage of their net worth. Risk is part of the game. Buffett's first major investment was Geico, the insurance company. He bet 65% of his net worth. Wouldn't you say that's risky? And Geico eventually did a 100x over the course of the next 20 years. Now, Buffett didn't actually hold on to all of his shares, but this move basically allowed him to retire out of the rat race at the age of 26 with a net worth of $174,000, which is equivalent to about $1.7 million in today's money. The reason why I'm focusing on asymmetrical bets as a way out of the rat race is because the quote-unquote safer bets in the world, like investing in index funds, simply don't give you enough returns for you to get out of the rat race quickly. The S&P 500 averages out at around a 10% gain every year. Assuming that this continues, which isn't even a certainty, you'd have to stay in the rat race and bet on this quote-unquote safe bet for decades before you could retire. So yeah, if you want to retire when you're in your 60s, then go for it. But if you want to get out of the rat race within the next 5 to 10 years, then asymmetrical bets are one of the only things that I've observed that could actually get you there. Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering where to even find decent asymmetrical bets. I'll upload another video on the exact thought process and methodology I follow when searching for these. It should come out in a couple of days. Once it's done, I'll link to it down below. Now, once you've found an asymmetrical bet and you're ready to place your bet, it's time to step number 4, the 3 R's, risk management, rinse and repeat. Now, it's important that you remember that asymmetrical bets have a high chance of not working out, which is why the key here is risk management, meaning that you should never ever bet more than you can afford to lose. Don't borrow money, don't sell the house, don't go all in on a bet, because you could be wrong. Only bet what you can afford to lose so that you can survive to bet again, which is the rinse and repeat part. Early in 2020, when the markets crashed, I decided to bet big on several cryptocurrencies with about half of my net worth. I knew that if I was right, I would be making life-changing money, and that I could essentially retire. At the same time, I knew that if I was wrong, my life would be about the same. I have a business that brings in income, so I would just have to work and save up for another year and try my luck again with the next asymmetrical bet that I find. That's why step number 2, increase your income stream, is so important. Many of the legendary investors that I've studied have made 2 or 3 terrible bets before finally hitting it big. They often preach that survival is key as it allows you to learn from your mistake, recover, and try again. And when the day comes where you are finally right about an asymmetrical bet, it's time to step number 5, diversify and chill out. If you ever hit the jackpot with an asymmetrical bet, you should have life-changing money on your hands. Now, depending on how much your initial bet was, you might have enough to drop out of the rat race immediately. If you don't, that's fine. Your strategy here is basically to keep working, keep saving, and to find the next asymmetrical bet. If you are fortunate enough to drop out of the rat race entirely, then you should focus your time on figuring out how to preserve your wealth, as you'll be in a position where making sure your money is well managed will probably make you more money than your old job would have. At this point, you should learn how to diversify by spreading out your wealth into different sectors. Diversification is mainly used to make sure that you stay wealthy, while asymmetrical bets are mainly used to become wealthy in the first place. Now, to sum things up, the large majority of investors that I've studied were able to escape the rat race by increasing their income stream so that they can save up more money, so that they can make asymmetrical bets with large percentages of their net worth, of course with good risk management, and repeating this multiple times until they hit the jackpot, after which they then diversify their wealth. I know all of this sounds risky, which is why, again, you should speak with your financial advisor before doing anything with your money. And if you know of another way to escape the rat race in less than 10 years, then I would love to hear about it in the comments down below. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.